Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ Podcast. Harvey Levin here.
Charlie Neff here.
Courtney here.
And Babcock here.
So you know Kelly Clarkson is getting divorced. She has now filed something that I find really, really interesting. So a lot of times when people get divorced, especially women, where they take their husband's name, when they get divorced, a lot of times they want to restore their maiden name.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there are all sorts of reasons for it. One is you just want to move on.
Right.
Another is that you're known by that name,
Right.
Mhm.
as Kelly Clarkson is.
Right.
And you want to go back to that name because it's just, you're no longer married to that
Yeah.
person.
Right.
And sometimes you don't have kids with them, so it's just easier to go back to your own name because you have like no more attachments.
But
Although
her
she does
last-
have kids.
She does, but I'm just
So
saying other
she
people.
has filed an application for a name change in her divorce case from
So she was Kelly Blackstock.
she was Kelly Blackstock. So you would think that the name change she would ask for would be Kelly Clarkson.
Of course.
Right.
No brainer.
Guess what?
What?
She's not going,
Brainer.
she's not going back to Kelly
not going
Clarkson.
She
back?
is not going back to Kelly Clarkson
But
legally.
it's not keeping her married.
She is going to Kelly Brienne.
What, is
That's
that her middle
weird.
name?
Why?
Yeah, it is.
That's her middle name. And we can't get a clear answer, but I think we have an idea as to why. She has made it very clear she does not get along with or like her father.
Oh.
Right. That is
Wow.
a very good point.
And she certainly doesn't want her married name.
Right.
No.
But legally, I find this really interesting because even though she doesn't get along with her dad, and she has talked about this before,
Right.
Yeah, she has.
she is famous because she's Kelly Clarkson.
Right.
Mhm.
The interesting thing is she has a television show now, a big television show.
Right.
And it's not going to be the Kelly Brienne show. It's going to be the Kelly Clarkson
Well, it's her
show, which
stage-
it is.
So she's
yeah,
still
it's
going to
her
have to
stage
use.
name. Like basically, Kelly Clarkson's now her stage name. How like Reese Witherspoon
Well, I
like,
wanna
changed
see
her
that-
But
name.
it wasn't
Right.
just her stage name.
It wasn't.
It was her legal
real
name.
Right.
name. But here's the thing: she was Kelly Blackstone, right?
Blackstock.
Blackstock for how many years? And also Kelly Clarkson. So she's done it before, where her legal name was already different than her stage name has been.
What
Right.
if she,
So now,
what
like,
if she
it's not
goes by
that
Kelly
weird.
Brienne on stage now too?
Yeah, it's definitely a
I don't think she.
possibility.
No, she's
It-
Kelly
it
Clarkson.
doesn't make
if she
sense.
changed Kelly, if she changed it to Kelly Brienne, her whole entire business
Well,
would
she
change.
must feel strongly about it because it's probably not a
I
smart
think
business.
it's more like-
It's not a smart business.
Who am I thinking of who famously changed their name and it was always
Diddy.
No. A woman who was very famous, and I'm trying to think of who it was who got married and used her maiden name. It's a really famous person. Why am I blanking on this?
I feel like
Like
I know
a
the
really
story.
famous person. And she just became that name. And I think then she got divorced and went back to it. Is a really famous entertainer.
I feel like it's
I don't
definitely
even know how to
happened
Google
before.
I
that.
don't remember, but
Okay,
But it
anyway.
is-
Diddy is not a bad example either, though, because he was
But
Puffy, he was Puff Daddy.
Diddy's kind of a bad example because Diddy just did it because
Sure.
No, I'm talking about a
But
woman
people-
who got married
Right.
and then
I know what you're talking about. I
and
cannot
changed
remember
her
who.
name, and everybody thought, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And
Who was it?
It wasn't Gwyneth who was it?
well, here's the thing:
Hailey Bieber?
no. It's somebody really, really famous, and my guess is she's in her 40s now. And it's a famous person. We
Well,
could do
it-
this, by the way. We
I
could
know.
do this for
Try it.
20 minutes.
I
right
know.
now. We're going to
Sounds
move
like
on.
Jessica
So
Lange did it.
here's what I'm being told: that Kelly Clarkson has privately been using Kelly Brienne for a while now.
Since after the divorce.
Sending emails to people using Kelly
Mm.
Brienne. So she's been using this even though she's still Kelly Blackstock
Mhm.
and is known by Kelly Clarkson. She's been sending emails and identifying herself still, even though it's not legal yet, as Kelly Brienne.
That's so confusing.
I know.
I know.
This divorce has been all over the place with the
Oh my
Montana
gosh.
ranch now to
Oh,
this.
right.
Like I feel like it's never ending.
Yeah. And
It's-
it is really interesting that you mentioned the father thing because I did go see her years ago when she was still with Brandon, her ex, and she had come on stage and basically like scorched her father, saying that when she got with her husband, that she realized what it's like to have a true man in your life, like just totally like
She
made it
sang
seem
a-
like her
She
life
sa-
was rocky.
She sang a song on American Idol when she came back to do the show where she said of her husband, "This is somebody who will not leave me."
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. There's actually a song too
Wait,
that
was
was
it, is it
inspired
because
by
of
him.
you?
No,
No.
no,
But
no.
she sang a song. I mean, the song is about her husband and about the difficulty she had with her dad.
Right.
Right.
So this has been a long-standing thing, but again, I cannot imagine she is going to go by the Kelly Briand show. I just don't think that's going to happen. Okay, if anybody out there can remember the name of this actress that I'm thinking of,
I know.
please
We're
contact
gonna
us.
remember
Send
right
it to
when
the
we're done.
tip
I'm
line.
trying to
Guys,
think how
we're
I can
gonna-
Right when
It's
we're
a
done.
famous person.
We're gonna get so many messages of like different
Please.
people.
But like, who is
I-
it? Because it is going to drive me
It's a
crazy. I know
famous
who you're
person.
talking about, and I can't
Ah,
think of it.
okay,
So
we
I remember
got-
thinking this is a bad idea at the
Whoever
time.
whoever can think of it, we need you to
Well,
blurt.
Kim Kardashian, right? Or will she hyphen her name?
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's
hyphen.
somebody who
Yeah.
just went by, just changed what she went by. Okay,
I
Kanye
know,
West.
I know, right?
Kanye West
Moving on.
is, he is following Pete Davidson.
Not
in-
anymore.
Well, he was
Yeah.
in a weird way.
So bizarre.
So Pete, you tell this because
Pete made a huge return on Instagram, and it's been a really long time since he's been on there. Originally, he had left saying that like the bullying was just like getting to him. He didn't want to be a part of social media anymore. So he made this huge comeback on Instagram, and a lot of people are like, why is he coming back now when Kanye West is like on his butt more than ever? And immediately Kanye followed Pete on Instagram and even made it publicly known by commenting in all caps saying followed.
which is almost like I'm watching you, bro.
Yeah.
Totally.
Not almost. I think it is. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
And then
bro.
and then Kanye posted like a bunch of different Instagram posts like ranting about Pete. Like
He reshared the SNL skit where Pete was talking about his mental health issues and said that he should get back on the meds. But then,
ranted about us.
Yeah.
ranted about us, called us godless. And then he was like, I dare you guys to put it in the post. You put it in the post. And it was like,
And then he
and
deleted it.
and then he deleted it.
But
also-
look, I mean, I also feel bad for him. I mean,
For Kanye?
Yeah, I really do. And I realize a lot of people are pissed off and saying, how dare you and everything else. He's going through something.
Yes.
And
Sure.
is he
And-
or is this all
no,
for
I think he's going
But he's
through
No,
going
he
about
is.
it in the wrong way.
I'm
That's
not
what
sa-
I can't.
Well, I know
like,
that.
Yeah.
You
But-
know what?
But I'm just saying that there's been a lot of empathy for people who have had struggles and people have embraced that. And I agree with you. He's definitely going about it the wrong way. But at the same time,
You know, there's a new documentary that's
the
on
Kanye documentary.
Kanye.
Right, and you watch that, and it seems like a completely different person. He is a different person now than he was when he was trying to make it. But I don't know. I don't feel bad for him. First,
documentary is
it's
good, by the way.
menacing. It's threatening.
I think all of
it's-
that's true.
And then he gaslights people, and then he'll put up a post and he'll say, "I miss my family," and you have people feeling sorry for him. And then he does things like this again.
It's all over the
What's
place.
going to happen when somebody hurts Pete because they think
Well,
that it
no,
would make Kanye happy? It's on him. Then, Marv.
I think you're right.
It's
Again,
on him.
I'm not justifying it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying if this were just out of malice,
Yeah.
I think it's different than if it's out of some kind of.
Sure.
And look,
I
I'm
agree
not a
with you.
doctor. I'm not gonna. I'm not
No, I
gonna
agree
analyze
with you.
this. It just feels like there's something so erratic here.
Yep, I agree.
But
I agree with you.
it's just it's a really
Yeah.
sad situation. And also, how does Kim Kardashian navigate this?
What
Because you don't want to trigger things. And
Right,
this-
and she's texting him on the side, and then he goes and he posts those publicly. So
That's-
she can't even say anything.
It
like,
has to
privately.
be all through the lawyers
apparently
now,
that's
right?
not happening anymore. Yeah, I
It
mean,
has to be through the lawyers.
is.
Like she can't. Like what else can she do? She's
what
tried.
we're being
I feel
told
bad for
they're
her.
barely talking at all.
Yeah.
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 Well, Pete,
They don't.
Kanye unfollowed him, right?
Well, we don't know if he got blocked because Kim,
Oh.
Kris Jenner, and Pete are now all not like on Kanye.
Oh.
Like Kanye's not following any of them anymore.
Right.
So it's
and
if
they blocked them,
So it's like
then
they don't know if they
he
blocked
wouldn't
or if
follow.
they just like if Kanye just unfollowed them.
Well,
Okay.
But I'm sure it will
who,
change by the time this post because it always
Oh
changes
yeah,
with Kanye.
he'll probably follow and unfollow and follow
Yeah.
again.
By the
Okay.
way, who Pete follows is very telling as to why he returned back to Instagram because he only follows Kim K and actor Sebastian Stan, who we all know right now from the Pam and Tommy show on Hulu. But it seems like maybe he came back for some kind of promotion.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt
Oh
are in.
gosh.
This is a never-ending divorce war.
Mm.
I mean, this is.
For me, it's heartbreak after heartbreak. I love this couple, and I just want them to work it out so bad.
Well, what-
It's
Oh,
beyond
26
return.
2016, right?
That
I
is here's the issue. I mean, they are really angry at each other.
Yeah.
She says that he was abusive during the relationship with, at least
The
one of the kids.
Yeah.
From his side, he's saying, A, that's not true. And B, he said through this whole thing, where children's services got
Mhm.
involved and all the other stuff, that the effect has been he has had a really hard time cementing the relationship with his kids, which is really sad.
Yes.
Very sad. Yeah.
So now it's about wine. And I'm not talking about wine. I'm talking about real wine.
A
Courtney
lot of
knows
wine.
wine.
A lot of wine.
So this is how rich people go to war.
Ugh.
So apparently,
Tell us about it.
when
That part, you're rich too. Don't you front?
apparently, when they were married, they decided, let's buy a winery. So they bought
a good idea.
Right.
Yeah,
In 2008.
Yeah.
They
So they
spent
buy the-
$28.4 million.
they buy this winery.
It's Miraval, right? Wine?
Yep.
And-
Chateau Miraval.
And so,
France.
yeah, in France. So they buy this winery together. The weird thing is, remember, they had prenups and everything else. So she puts down 40%.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a lot of
Of
money.
the
Yeah,
28.4 million.
Now, the interesting thing that I find is, and this is just the reality of life, that they apparently had some kind of an agreement saying that if you ever want to sell your share, and the only way that would happen is if they get divorced,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming, right?
Right.
So they were conscious of this, and they said, if you want to sell your share, you can do that, but you need my approval.
It makes sense
Yeah.
because you're getting, the other
It's
person
a
would be getting a new
business
partner.
deal.
Well, you're
Yeah.
getting a new partner. So you want to make sure you approve of that person.
So she decides
Nope.
that she's going to sell her share. And she goes into court and she says in September that she wants to sell it to this unnamed person. So Brad Pitt is supposed to know what is up before he approves it.
Right.
He says, she never told me. And she secretly then turns around and sells it to a Russian oligarch.
But did he
So
sign
this
off?
Russian oligarch is now partners with Brad Pitt.
Right. And he's like,
Out of
I don't
nowhere.
want
Like,
this.
who
He's like,
are
I don't
you?
want this. Right. Brad Pitt goes to court now to try and get Angelina to undo the sale to
But-
the
but-
Russian oligarch.
Yes.
Don't you think that's kind of a last-ditch effort to keep her in the business with
I don't
him
know.
and almost
No. I
like
didn't
get
think
No,
of
back?
I
Oh,
just
no.
don't think
She-
he wants to be in business with this man, and he was like,
But
No,
he's
that's
going to have to
exact-
be business with somebody.
Let-
So
let-
why don't you just
but
embrace it?
Let me just say, clearly, he wants a divorce.
Mhm.
He wants her out of his life, and she wants him out of hers.
Right.
They are never getting back together.
That's for
No.
sure.
And by the way,
No.
and by the way,
Yeah.
good on them for both realizing it.
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
This is not a good
No.
marriage.
Oh, it's been
Dude,
going on
some of
since
the quote,
2015.
this quote was so funny. Unfortunately, this is another example of the same person disregarding her legal and ethical obligations. Like he wants nothing to do with her. He just doesn't want to work with this Russian guy. And it was like, we
They
had
own
a
Stoli.
business
They buy
deal
Stoli.
together, and like I had to sign off on it, and you didn't do it. So stop it.
And
But
no
also-
shade on Stoli, but again, my dad owned a liquor store.
Yeah.
It was bottom of the barrel.
Oh, boy.
I like Stoli.
Well, I'm not saying.
Well,
It's been a while.
And when I worked in a liquor store, there weren't
Yeah.
a whole lot of options.
Right.
I don't
Hey,
think.
it's your birthday. Do you want him to buy you a
Uh,
bottle
oh
of
my
Oh,
God,
Stoli for
today-
your
happy
birthday?
birthday,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it on the down.
Is
Happy
it
birthday,
the
Babcock.
21st birthday?
Yes, it is. Right.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. But he clearly wants a divorce from her.
But
Yeah.
also, Brad Pitt could just sell his share and just wipe his hands clean of this
But
situation.
but it's a very good winery, and like the
Yeah.
sales
It
are
is.
very.
He liked, and
yeah.
he
And
that,
he
it was important
says-
to him. He
well,
spent a
that's
lot of
what
time
he
on
says.
it.
He says basically after like 2 years of it, she did nothing. That
Right.
it was his like blood, sweat, and tears
Yeah.
that made it a successful thing. So like this is my company, and now you just like sold basically half of my company to someone,
Yeah.
and I didn't know about it.
Right.
Okay.
Some Russian oligarch.
We're going to end with Elon Musk. This was over the line. To
Yes.
compare, I mean, look, a lot of people have problems with what Justin Trudeau has said, where he's
Mhm.
really going after these truckers,
Mhm.
trying to freeze assets so they don't get money. It's legal to do, but the issue is
Well, a lot of people think it's
is it right?
unconstitutional that
Yes.
Right,
he's
but-
abusing his power.
But
sure.
But
nonetheless,
this compares.
to compare him to Hitler, we should explain that he.
So, yeah, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
So, okay, so Elon Musk shared a meme on Twitter yesterday. So it was in direct response to somebody talking about the Canadian government's ability to freeze assets without a court order now with this Emergency Powers Act that Justin Trudeau has enacted. So Elon Musk goes on his Twitter and shares this meme. It's a photograph of Hitler saying, "Don't compare me to Justin Trudeau." Obviously making a joke of Hitler saying, "Hey, I don't want to be compared to that
Yeah.
guy. He's worse than me."
Which is just
And I
Come-
think, yeah, there were people, there were organizations who came out and said, "Hey, look, Hitler killed millions and millions of people," and
It's just
Yeah,
wrong.
it's just not
Right.
on the same level
Extermination
at all.
camps.
Like it's not the same at all. Like, I don't understand why Elon would have to like go this far. And I get it. Elon is like a kind of like an internet troll, but it just like went too far.
You know, it's kind of like when people use the term slavery to compare.
Yes.
You know, it denigrates what the reality is. And, you know, in the case of, you know, the Holocaust, how do you compare the Holocaust to what Justin Trudeau said?
You can't.
You can't. And what it does is it incites people. I mean, there are Jewish organizations that are appropriately, I think, outraged at this. And you know, and
Well,
Elon
I
does,
think it was a tactical error because.
or was it? Or was
no,
it?
I
think it was
the
because
real conversation.
right.
That has to be had.
I think that's why, because he went too far, and now that's the conversation. Meanwhile, we should be having a conversation. At least in my mind, this is really scary.
Was it a tactical error?
I think
Elon Musk is so smart. Do you think?
Sure,
But he's
Elon
also
can't make a
out
mistake.
I think
there.
he
No,
tries
but
to
do
be
you-
funny and to be like
but
an
I
internet
think-
troll, and I feel like he
Do you
really
think
missed the
although he
mark.
did
do you
make the
think
point,
he
Harv.
knew this was going to be controversial?
Yeah, of course.
He
Well,
had
that's what
to
I.
have.
That's why I'm saying.
You don't make $200 billion being
What
an
I'm
idiot.
saying
Yeah.
is, it's not an error in the sense he intended to do
Right,
this. He
right.
wanted this
Yeah,
kind
but
of
why?
conversation.
And look, but here's why a lot of people are scared. Take the Hitler thing out of it. Justin Trudeau is not Hitler. Not Hitler.
Thank you.
It's scary.
We were
It's
not
scary.
aware of that.
Here's all I would say. I would encourage people who have no problem or don't like the truckers and have no problem with the government being able to freeze people's money. Just be careful. It's not unbelievable to think that this could happen here one day. And it's very scary to think that the government could just act and freeze your money. Maybe you agree with why they're doing it today, but that same policy could be used tomorrow against you. And
You know what?
Harvey,
You know what's really
this can't happen, Harvey.
What's interesting about your argument is it exactly mirrors the free speech argument that we've been having in
Right,
this country,
right.
which is you start like telling people, no, you can't say that. You start censoring people, and then all of a sudden, it's whose
snowballs.
ox is being
Right
gored.
now,
Yeah.
what happens when let's say you're a Democrat out there? What happens when Donald Trump, if he wins the presidency in 2024 again, he says, "Hey, I don't like that you're part of that group. Banks, freeze that money."
Well, it's not even that.
This
It's
is
not even that.
scary, guys.
I'll give you an example where you just carry it forward. Suppose the Republicans get in and they are hardcore pro-life.
Right.
And then they try and censor anybody who
Right.
says that they're pro-choice because
Right.
they say that's murder
Right.
and that you can't condone murder.
Right.
And then all of a
It's so
sudden,
scary. Right.
No,
Anybody
but I'm
who's
saying,
donated money to-
once you open that door,
Right.
it's a real
It's
issue.
hard to close
Well,
it.
what is the trucker like scandal that's going on right now?
So there in Canada there is a vaccine mandate, and the truckers. A lot of people have said they're anti-vax. I think you'd find that most of them are not anti-vaccine. They're anti-mandate, and they're not allowed to re-enter Canada under the current law. So they can't. They basically can't.
Well, no.
work.
What Trudeau is doing is he's exercising emergency power.
That has
to
only
say
been used 3 times in
that-
Canada's history.
That people who want to support the truckers and give them money, especially crypto,
Right.
they're going to freeze that.
Right.
It's because he's trying to
Without
squeeze
court
them
order.
without court order, and he's saying, "Look, I have these emergency powers. Look,
This is scary.
again,
It scares me.
Again, whether you agree with Trudeau or not, this is not Hitler, and it's almost like you said
No.
Trudeau is worse because he says at least I could balance my budget. That's
Ugh.
it's
Yeah.
a really bad message.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
And we can also say Trudeau has a terrible haircut right now, and highly needs to get a cut. I can
Yeah.
say that I'm Canadian, so I can make
Can
fun
I
of him.
ask you what is going on there?
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
If
I
he's,
mean,
like,
I'm actually really
stressed.
serious because
He
he's
used to be so like
when he came into the scene, he was the
Yeah.
hottest thing.
Yes.
And now
so
it just
clean
looks
cut, like hair,
disheveled.
like well done, and now I'm just like,
Well, you know what it is?
happening?
It's pandemic hair. That it's
Oh,
almost no, because for a long time people didn't get haircuts
Right.
because
Yeah.
of this, and
Right.
it feels like
and all of Canada was shut down, so
I
maybe
know.
he couldn't
Yeah.
get a haircut.
okay. We will have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you Monday.
Bye,
Bye, guys.